Hello everybody, welcome back. This is Kevin with survivalistboards.com, and today we are working on the rabbit boxes. These are going to be just some hide boxes for the rabbits to get up inside of. It's also going to be a birthing box for the doe, but I'm hoping not to breed her just yet. But whenever I do, I want to go ahead and have the box built. These are some drops off of the chicken coop that my wife and I built last year. They're 4 foot wide, and they are about 21 inches, but I went ahead and cut it to like 20 and a half, so I went ahead and cut it to 20 inches. So that's 20 by 24. And then for the walls, I've got some 1 by 12s that we're going to be coming up off there with some 2-inch long screws to secure everything. I'm working by myself today, so I'm using C-clamps to help hold the boards to the table. You can see how that skill saw ripped that plywood. And this is just 1/4 inch non-treated plywood. This is just regular plywood, no heavy metals, not treated, anything like that. This is going to be the size of the boxes. This is 1 by 12, just yellow pine. What I'm using is just shelving material. It's just some little cheap yellow pine shelving material. It's got knots in it, which I don't care about. Rabbits aren't going to care either. I'm going to be so glad when my wife and I get moved out to the farm and don't have to listen to cars anymore. Okay, we're going to cut 2 of these 24 inches long. Then one of them, we're going to make a little, we're going to cut it out for an entrance into the box and leave like a 3-inch ledge for her to be able to build her nest inside of there. Here's the entrance to the box. That's 3 inches up. Now remember, we're building this to keep the baby rabbits, and whenever she builds her nest, that is 3 inches, a 3-inch lip. And the plywood's going to take up a little bit, so say 2 3/4 inch lip. And then going to make that 10 inches high or 10 inches wide, and then about 8 1/4 inches tall, where she'll be able to go through that hole there. And then this lip right here hopefully will keep the bunnies in after they start getting up big enough to move around. As I said, since I'm working by myself, I'm using C-clamps to hold the board to the table for safety. Now let's see if we can get this notch out cut. We'll go ahead and cut this out while the board is in one piece and without hurting myself. I missed one little spot. Get my pocket knife and cut that out. It'll be fine. Using about a 1/8 drill bit, drill a pilot hole. Coming back with a number 2 Phillips bit. And some 2-inch long outdoor screws. We're not forcing the nails in, just enough to snug up the bottom. And there is one side attached. Here is with 2 of the walls attached. Now maybe y'all understand what I was talking about with this being a lip, so the kittens, whenever the doe has her litter of kits, that they can't roll out whenever they finally start moving around, that they won't roll out onto the wire. Here's our hide box minus the lid. None of the screws, I want y'all to notice this, and I want to mention this to y'all. Notice none of the screws are sticking out. None of the sharp edges of the screws are sticking out on any of the corners. None of the floors. You put one more screw in that, maybe pull that up a little bit. But the health and welfare of my chickens and my rabbits is important to me. No sharp edges, no screws, no staples, no nothing sticking out where they can cut themselves or get hung up on them. Now all we gotta do is put the lid on it. Seems I've got a little problem. The screws are sticking through on these hinges, and that goes against my policy of no sharp edges inside the box. I don't want the rabbits to bump into it and hurt themselves. And they're right up against the edge. Well, I have a little idea. Whoops, sorry about that, it got blurry. Sorry about that. I've got an idea of what I'm going to do there. What I did was I took two of these screws out, one here, one there, and I used a roofing screw without the washer. These are like 1.5 inches long. Put a backer on right there. So whenever this door closes, the tips of those screws, do what, Christy? No, I'm done in there, are covered. And so nothing can bump into them, and they're covered. I think that'll be all right. Well, it seems she likes it. She took right into the box as I was putting it in. After I put it in there, I just picked her up and set her in there. I think it's a little too wide. Is that, there she is. Hey girl. Let's see how this is going to work out. And just pick it up and look inside there. There you go. Yeah. So I may make the next one, say, come to right here, the edge, and trim 3 or 4 inches off of it and give them more room in this open area here. Back here where y'all can see that. Maybe take some off of right here, 3 or 4 inches, and then that'll give them more room on the wire. Yeah, I think that's going to work out all right. Yes, we're going to keep her in the cage. That way dogs and stuff can't eat her.
Whoa!
Yeah. I put the bottle in there for her and him. His is over there for them to roll around. We picked up some baby toys where they could roll it around and keep them occupied. Oh, she's out of food. I have to give her some more, but she's got a little greenery in here to snack on. Yeah, she's taking to it real good. Real good. Like I said, I may make the next one maybe not so wide. Yeah, that'll be all right. That's one reason why I wanted to have good 3-inch hinges and the lid fit like what it does, because I figured she was going to be getting on top of it, sniffing around. Hey girl, you like your new home? I hope so. Here's the second box. Same basic design, 3-inch lip. Excuse me. Except this one is 16 by 20. It's going to be the same basic design, same everything, just be a little bit smaller to provide them more room inside the cage. Here's the second rabbit box. Same thing with the other ones. So we had the screws sticking out, so we put the backer, the trim, so that whenever it closes, the screws are covered. And plus it gives these hinges a good strong backup. I took one of the roofing screws, took the washer off, and sunk it in, and it pulled that board up tight and made these hinges good and strong to give them a good strong bite where they won't be coming loose. And if something happens to these, then I'll do these the same way. Like if the rabbit jumping up here, or something happens where it'll pull loose, then I'll do the same thing to these. But anyway, or I'll get in here with a pair of bolt cutters or something and just cut them screws off. That way there's no, like I said, that trim in there is covering them. All right, now this one here is 16 by 20. I think I like the size of this one a little bit better, but I'll be able to tell more whenever the rabbits get grown, and we'll go from there.